these men, I'm reading in Amplified, it describes it a little bit, but also we can look at it in KJV. It says, but these men sneer at anything which they do not understand. And whatever they do know by mere instincts, like unreasoning and irrational beasts. By these things they are destroyed. Let me look at it in KJV. This is what it says in KJV, so that we can look at the differences in description. This is what it says. But these speak evil of these things which ye knew not. But what they know naturally, that word naturally is what is called instincts. Is what describes an animal's urges. An animal's urges. Ndio the instinct. So they describe it as natural. The things that they do naturally. And then it describes it as brute. Like as brute beasts, as brute. The understanding of brute, if you try and translate it, is unreasoning. Unreasoning and irrational. They are irrational beasts. This is what you describe an animal. Because an animal, for example, think about like a dog. Think about dog. You may want to make a dog have manners. Sindio? So what do? You train it. So what you do is you try and condition it to understand different things. But it will never have the reasoning capacity that you have. What it will have is conditioning. But normally, what it will have is natural urges. For example, when a dog, you have a male dog, and a female dog in your neighbor's compound or on the neighbor, a female dog is on heat. What will happen to your dog? Can you keep it? It is very hard. You will try and condition it. But if you tell it, enjoy, what will it do? It will run. It will jump to the neighbor's house. And it will do whatever it needs to do naturally. Cynthia? Yes. That is the natural, the instincts that it will do. It knows that that one is on heat and it needs to do something. So the difference between a person and someone who does things just naturally is that you will say, that is not my domain, or that is not my responsibility, or that is not for me. And you will do what? That is your personality or your reasoning. So you will stay where you need to stay. That is the difference. But a dog or a cow or a he-goat, so you know what they will do? They will jump the fence and you will find them in the neighbor's place. Yes. So those things are instincts. Instincts. And that's what they do. Even if you try and call your dog a Christian dog, because you baptized it and you have trained it, if you allow the instincts to come through, they will do what they need to do. So that is the difference. And then what else? When you talk about brute, brute means really unreasoning. It does not reason. It is unable to reason. And being called a beast is because it is a what? It is a creature. It is made. It is made. Bwana asifiwe sana. So man is described by God's word as being personal, rational, and also what? Sovereign. But then we are creatures because we are made. Bwana asifiwe sana. But we have been made to a point that we can do what? That we have our differences in terms of personality. There is what you like and what you don't like. That's your uniqueness. You are what comes out of you naturally to others it may not as quickly as it comes out of you. Some have to work hard at something, but truly you are unique as you are. Bwana asifiwe sana. So science sometimes ignores these things, and it groups us together with animals and does not look at how we are different in terms of our reasoning, in terms of our sovereignty, in terms of our personality. So there is a theory called a theory of determinism that the psychologists teach. It's called the theory of determinism, which basically says that you are not responsible for the way you respond to situations. And I know this one is being used a lot with the LBGT something. That you are not responsible for what you feel. You are not responsible for what happens. You are not responsible for, the way you feel, and the determinism. Forget about the words. Let's look at the examples more. Genetic determinism. Where does this come from? This is where we blame things that we do on our grandparents. Mwaisikia hiyo? Najua tunasikianga hiyo. I do this because of what? Because of my grandparents. It is in my genes. It is in me. So I will, I do the things I do. My character, my essence, how I am is because of who? Because of my grandparents. It comes with the genes. Yeah? And I know we go a little bit further. But I think that one comes with it. We say our clan does this. Sindio? Wengine wanaongeanga mambo ya clan. I think kuna wale wanapenda nyama sana. Wanasema clan yetu inapenda nini? We can't resist eating meat. So when we see meat in front of us, we do what? We just have to eat. Wengine wanasema because my great grandmother was sleepwalked, ama alikuwa anafanya night running, anakimbia usiku, hiyo imetembea na sisi, iko ndani yetu. Kwa hivyo lazima tufanye nini? Tukimbie usiku, si ndio? And we say I can't help it. What can happen? I have to just do these things. I have to run at night. I try and stop, but I just have to run at night. Si ni kweli? Wengine wanasema I can't because my grandfather had 5 wives. I can't stay without many wives. Siwezi tosheka na mtu mmoja. Genetics. We blame it all on our grandparents and on genes. And we say because of these shortcomings or even temper. Kuna wengine wanasemanga hasira. Hasira ni ya nani? Ilitoka kwa guka. Watu wetu wanakuanga na kashida ya hasira. Ndio kwa nini? Ndio sababu tunapiga wake, ama ndio tunapiga wa husbands, ama lazima tusikie tumepigwa ndio tujue tunapendwa. Si ndio? Kama hujafanywa hivyo usikii kama umependwa. Kwa sababu niliona my grandfather and they use that. And they say, I blame it on genetics. I blame it on my genes. So that's the first one. So genetic determinism. The second one is called psychic determinism. Psychic determinism. PSYCHIC. Determinism. Here, we blame the things we do on our parents. You see, the first one we started with grandparents because of genes. Now this one is parents, basically on how you are brought up. Kwetu tunafanyanga nini? Tunafanyanga hivi. Mimi nililewa nikiona tukifanya namna gani? So your personality and character was shaped by what you saw, what you went through as you're being brought up. You went through tough times, so tough that you have to make sure that your kids go through a tough time. That is the only way you can make a man. By making them go through toughness. Lazima uende utairiwe vile sisi tunatairiwa asubuhi kwa mahali fulani na ufanyiwe hivi. Si ni kweli? Yes. And you use that to form character. And you blame that. Now, that is how I was conditioned, so that is the way I can only behave. I cannot learn anything new because that is the way we were brought up. Men don't go into kitchens. Sindio? Men don't do this. Men don't do this. Men don't do that. Because you what? You grew up seeing that. So you blame it on what happened as you're growing up. Environment, that's a third one. Environmental determinism, which basically says the environment that I grew up, the environment that I grew up caused me to be like this. The